Welcome to Beginning, Intermediate, and Advanced Playwriting. Beginning Playwriting, Lesson 1.5, Testing a Short Play. The purpose of this lesson is to give you a means of showing you exactly how your play will work in the theater. This will allow you to make adjustments so that you can fine-tune it to have precisely the effect on the audience that you intend. Okay, you've done it? You've written a short play? Congratulations! All right, let's have a look at it. Get a piece of paper and draw a graph. The vertical axis is going to be the tension level, so number it from bottom to top from 0 to 10. The horizontal axis is going to be the time that elapses during your play. Plays run about a minute a page. Unless your dialogue is written in paragraphs instead of lines, then it'll be 2 to 3 minutes a page. But since you are breaking up your lines so that your characters can react to what the other says, as in Lesson 1.2, your 3-page play is going to run 3 minutes, or your 5-page play will run 5 minutes. If we're looking at a 3-page play, then divide the horizontal axis into 3 equal sections. The first section represents the first page of your play. On the left is the beginning of the page, on the right is the end of the page. Look at your play. The lights come up. We are on the origin of your graph. Now, where on your page does the first significant event happen? Is it right at the start? If the lights come up on a woman sitting at a table in a decrepit room, loading a pistol with shaking hands, then right at 0 on your horizontal axis, go up the vertical axis and put an X on the 7, because you have opened your play right at the start with a tension level of 7, because it looks like the woman is about to kill herself or someone else. Something with extraordinary, life-changing consequences is about to happen. That is a great beginning. However, it's really hard to sustain that kind of tension for the length of your play. So a perfectly excellent beginning would be the lights come up on someone tearing around and around a dining table, hurrying to make everything perfect. If the character is moving around as though he has all the time in the world, then your tension level is something like a 1 or 2 on a scale of 1 to 10. Your audience will pay attention because this is the first thing that is happening on stage, but unless you raise the tension level soon, some of them are going to start to think that they're in for a boring evening. And you don't ever want any of them to think that for a moment. So, let's have the character tearing around, straightening cutlery, adding flowers, smelling them, taking them away again. He is hurried, he is stressed. What do you think the tension level is for the audience watching the play? Now, some people in the audience will be fully engaged at the play if you just bring the lights up on the dining table. They'll stare at it for half an hour without being bored. Some people are like that. Some people can sit for 5 hours in an airport and be perfectly entertained by the people going by. That faction of the audience is always going to love your play, no matter what you do. It's not a challenge to entertain them. And, of course, in your audience is going to be a handful of people who didn't want to come tonight. Either they don't feel good, or they're tired, or they only came because they submitted to someone's emotional blackmail. It's possible that no matter what happens on stage, they are not going to enjoy it. But at least you can hold their attention while they sulk. The largest group in the audience will be engaged if you engage them. They will be moved if you succeed in moving them. If you can seize their attention and hold it for the length of the play, then you will have written a play that works in the theater. Let us define a tension level of 4 on a scale of 1 to 10 as the tension level that will seize the attention of everyone in the room. To get an accurate sense of the tension level you have set, think about what kind of theater person you are yourself. Are you the kind who is entertained in airports? Then what is a 4 to you may be a 1 or 2 for most of your audience. Set the tension level in your play a little higher, if that is the case, to make sure you are getting everyone's attention. At the beginning of your play, if you took a snapshot of your actor as the lights come up, can you see any tension on her body? The answer you want is a resounding yes, not maybe a little. When you create theater, write with big, powerful strokes. If you are not sure that you have a significant tension level on the stage, change the story so that you have so much tension that you are left in no doubt. Hurt someone, threaten someone, start to drive someone insane. That'll work. So look at the beginning of your play. What is the tension level? What is happening on stage? Is it important to the characters? Is it important enough whereby everyone in the audience is going to want to know what is going to happen next? Okay, the beginning of your play has a tension level of at least a 4. Everyone in the audience is attending to your play. What is the next significant event? Look down your first page. You are looking for the next event that changes the course of a play. We're going to call that a plot point. So what's your next plot point after the play begins? For example, does someone enter? An entrance is always a plot point. When the new character enters, does the tension go up, down, or stay the same? Where does this entrance occur? If it is halfway down the page, then halfway along the first section on your horizontal axis, make an X at the height of the tension level for that event. If the guy setting the table in a tizzy looks up, and someone he did not expect comes into the room, his ex-wife for example, instead of the new boyfriend he invited to dinner, then the tension will go up. If it's his mother who thinks he's still married, or the wife he abandoned, then the tension level goes up to a 6 or 7. If whoever it is brings a weapon, then it goes up to an 8. If it's the housekeeper, and nothing has changed by the time she goes out, ask yourself if you need her to tell your story. If the woman loading the gun at the beginning of the play has woken her child and explained to him just why she needs to shoot him and then herself, and the ending is just as dramatic as the beginning and the middle, then you might not see a rise in the tension level because you started at an 8. But use your own judgment. The purpose of this exercise is to track accurately the tension you've built into your play. Now, go through your play and look for each major plot point. Look where they fall, whether at the beginning, the middle, or at the end of the page. Decide what the tension level of each one is. Don't fool yourself that a moment is more compelling than it actually is. Think of one of those reluctant theater goers. Not your best friend and fan, but someone you're not sure even likes you, and determine the tension level of each plot point from that person's point of view. Remember, a plot point is a place in your play where a major event happens that changes the course of the story. If someone is killed, that's a plot point. If someone enters, that's a plot point, because the events of the scene will change because the new person is now involved. In a 3-page play, you won't have a lot of plot points. You'll have one at the beginning, of course, to set the play in motion, and at least one to start the middle, one to cause the ending, and one for the ending itself. There is no set number for how many plot points you ought to have. When you have plotted the tension level of each plot point onto your graph, you will have a visual representation of the arc of your play. So how does it look? Does it start low and then rise over the course of the play and spike at the end? That's great. Does it start at a tension level of 4 and stay the same the whole way until the end where it spikes a couple of points? That's fine too. The one thing you want to be sure of is that nowhere in your play does the tension level drop below a 4. If your tension level drops below a 4 at any time during your play, at least part of your audience will lose interest. It is your job as the playwright to never, never let that happen. And since you keep that from happening by always, every moment, having a significant tension level, well, that's all you need to do, and then your play will work. So, did you do it successfully in this play? Well done. When you graph your play in this manner, you are also plotting the audience's interest in and response to your play. So from it, you should take at least one lesson. It is your job to seize their attention, sustain their attention, and surprise and delight them at the end. Since we want to entertain, move, and affect the audience, this is how you make sure that you have done so. This is how you guarantee that your play will work when it is produced in the theater. Now that you know how the tension level works in your play, it is time for the next test of your work. Bribe a couple of friends to read the play to you aloud. The traditional currency is carbohydrates. Brownies and/or pizza are standard. Do not ask them to read the play beforehand. You want a cold reading, which means that the actor is reading it without having looked at it before. You don't need professional actors to do this for you. If anyone reads the words consecutively and audibly, your play should basically work the way you intend. So promise them carbs, hand them the script, tell one of them to read the title and the setting so that everyone starts out with the same location in mind, and then let them at it. Don't act in the play yourself. You need to see what you've done, and you want all your actors to start out with the same amount of knowledge about the story. You'll learn more this way. And while they are reading the play to you, do not look at the script. The script is the two-dimensional simulacrum of the play. The actors reading for you are presenting a version of how it will work in the theater. Put your script out of sight and watch them. When they read the words, does their behavior change? This is the first thing you want to know. The character cuts should be built right into the text so that they have to act the behavior when they speak the words. Janie, please don't go. Janie, just go. Just get out of here. Janie? I thought you were dead. A character is defined by what he does. This includes what he says and how he says it. You design the character through the choices, the behavior, the speech patterns you give them to play. So as you listen to your play, how theatrically did you write your characters? Is their behavior so strongly individual that you could not possibly mistake them for each other or for anyone else? If your character behavior is so strong that your actors start acting the parts, then you have done an excellent job. If you can't tell what behavior they're supposed to be playing, then you need to go much, much further with your character cuts. You graphed your tension level before getting friends to read your play. While you were watching and listening to it, how accurate were you with those measurements? Does the play move right along? Is every moment interesting? If you have trouble telling, ask your friends to read it again. After all, you're giving them pizza. Can you tell how much fun your actors are having? If your actors are having fun, and you have no trouble getting them to read the play again, then your play works and you did a good job. Well done. Your friends will probably want to criticize your play. Remember, this was just an exercise. The purpose of the exercise was to try out the fundamental techniques of playwriting. Does it have a strong beginning? Does it have a significant tension level? Is the tension level sustained from beginning to end with no bobbles? Did you write wonderful character cuts? Does your play have a strong ending? If your friends need to comment on your play, ask them what they think of the tension, the characters, the beginning, and the ending. That's all this exercise was for. You might want to write a couple more 3- and 5-page plays until you feel comfortable with these techniques. If you already feel comfortable, then your next challenge is to write a 7- to 10-page play. Use one setting and time period, and 2 to 4 characters for a 10-page play. Remember, no matter how long your play is, it must have a strong beginning, good character cuts, a significant tension level every moment, and a strong ending. If you do that, your play will engage your audience in the theater. Writing longer plays brings us to intermediate playwriting. The next lesson is Intermediate Playwriting, Lesson 2.1, Writing a Longer Play. If you would like more information on playwriting, my manual, Playwriting, The Merciless Craft, Comprehensive Techniques for Mastering Beginning, Intermediate, and Advanced Playwriting, is available from Amazon as both an ebook or a paperback. If you have questions or comments, or are interested in a workshop or master's class, you can contact me through my website at thecarolwolf.com.